right, time to check in with Tyler Orton from Business in Vancouver. Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning, Steve.
So when I saw this yesterday, negative interest rate, I thought, so they're going to give us money to lend us money. Is that how this works?
That's the question. Like, how do negative interest rates
That's right,
work,
because it doesn't seem like logic doesn't seem like it would be very good.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here is a Bank of Canada Governor, Stephen Paulas. He announced yesterday that the Bank of Canada would be willing to introduce negative interest rates. So the idea here is that it would actually cost banks money to just let the money sit there in the banks. So what they would do is they would take that money and instead invest it into different parts of the economy, different companies, real estate, so on and so forth, to get an investment back, so that this would stimulate spending within the economy instead of just letting it sit there, forcing the banks to just pay money to whoever. So the other idea is if you have negative interest rates, it would encourage more people to borrow money, hence get more money injected into the economy that way as well. Does that make a little bit more sense, Steve?
Yeah, now it makes more sense.
Okay,
I like
cool.
I like the other way better, but
yeah.
But I guess that'll work.
But here's the thing: the Bank of Canada said back in 2009 that they had no plans on doing this. But since then, we've seen countries like Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark. They've all introduced this, and it hasn't had these huge negative impacts on the economy. So that's why they're putting it out there saying they're willing to do this. But Stephen Paulas, he emphasized that the Bank of Canada has no current plans to introduce it, just that they're willing to do it. And I think it'd be interesting, but I think a lot of people would be a little bit wary of this since it's so foreign to Canada here.
Well, at least he's looking at other ideas. I mean,
Yes.
that's the main thing, right? That's what you want in a governor there, is to look at all different ideas, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go on to this $100 million venture capital fund that's going to try and help start our tech industry here.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of stimulating the economy here, Christy Clark, our premier, she just announced yesterday that they are going to take aim at early stage or Series A funding that's needed among a lot of these local tech startups here in Vancouver. Oh, and I should say British Columbia as a whole, Now, the idea is that, again, we need more venture capital within the tech community to attract more entrepreneurs and get more of this going. Now, the BC Technology Industry Association has long been advocating for a similar kind of fund going on to attract a lot of these talented people over here and really gets the tech startup community going at full throttle. Now, the other thing is though, Brent Holliday, CEO at Garibaldi Capital Advisors, he's saying, look, we need to find the right balance between talent, capital, and innovation, because if you have too much capital, that could stretch talent a little thin, and it could also lead to overvaluation of a lot of startups. But here's the thing, BCTIA, they're very happy with this. They've been advocating for a long time. Because one of the big challenges we have here in the West Coast tech community is lack of venture capital to invest in a lot of these early stage companies. But look, companies like Hootsuite, BuildDirect, Vision Critical, these are a lot of these kind of well-known startups here in Vancouver. They all needed that Series A funding way back in the mid-2000s, and now it's really paying dividends for them. They're going through high growth. We want to see the next batch of these kinds of companies going forward here in British Columbia.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much. If you want some more details, go to BIV.com.